Hey guys, it's Andrew from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I thought it would be fun to give you a little update of our dining room space, just because I actually shared an unofficial home tour with you a couple weeks ago, and I told you that this space in particular was really stumping me and had me a little bit confused, to be honest. So I've been playing with some things and trying some things out. Earlier this week, I shared a really simple DIY project with you all. This super simple mirror that I made from an old window. I can't even really take the credit for it because my husband did most of the work. It's the easiest DIY project I've ever done. I'll link that video for you if you want to go check it out. Such a cool project. But I brought that into the space. I was able to style some of my shelves, and I had a lot of fun doing that, so I thought I would show you how the shelves are looking right now. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about some fun things I did under the breadboards, cutting boards that I have on display over here behind me, and then the chair situation, what I'm doing with the chairs. So let's just start off by looking at my shelves. I painted these shelves the same color as the board and batten, and I love the way they look now. I feel like they're so cottagey, but I didn't want them to feel super busy. I wanted to keep them very clean looking, and so I stuck with a lot of white dishes. My False-Craft collection is one that I've talked to you guys about before on my channel, and I really was just loving bright white on these shelves. I didn't want them to feel, again, super busy. So what I decided to do was pull in just little hints of wood here and there, because one of my favorite combinations is woods, whites, and grays. I just love that combination. It speaks to me. Totally understand if it's not your thing or if it feels boring to you, but for me, it's just soothing to the eye. I love it. So I brought in a few of my vintage wooden kitchen utensils here and there. I also softened things up a bit by adding some glassware. So I have some vintage thrifted glass pitchers, and I decided to add those to the shelves. And I love the fact that they add a different finish to the shelves, some interest, I guess, but they're clear, so they don't feel necessarily super busy. So I was really loving those. Another thing that I decided to add to my shelving were just some very simple blue and white striped napkins that I recently picked up at Target, and I love those on the shelves. Again, they add a little bit of softness from all of the harsh, the stoneware and the glass. It's nice to sort of rest your eye on something a little bit soft. So I tucked some napkins in, and if you'll notice, I kind of did them in opposite corners. I try to do that when I'm styling shelves. I just sort of like to make sure that everything balances out. So if I'm doing like glass on the top shelf of one side, maybe I'll switch and put glassware on the bottom shelf of the other side, if that makes sense. I actually did a shelf styling video on my channel last year, and I can link that for you if you're interested in watching kind of my process for styling shelves. Another fun thing that I brought in that I decided might be a nice change is a little bit of vintage copper. I found this piece that is so cool on Facebook Marketplace, along with it is like a collection of copper that this lady was selling. I think she wanted like 20 bucks for all the pieces. And she was so sweet. She said it had been in her family for many years. And I was just like, oh my goodness, thank you. And she gave me the whole box of old copper. And I thought it looked so pretty for spring with some flowers tucked into it and a little bit of eucalyptus. I did that same thing on the opposite side. On the top shelf, I tucked in some flowers, some eucalyptus. And I think that I just wanted to stop there. It's simple, it's clean, but there's a lot of interest. We've got some height variation, and I think that the shelves just turned out really beautifully. So those are all styled, and I really like the way those are looking. Now, of course, the table, let's talk about the table next. I told you guys that I felt like I could envision some Windsor chairs in here. So I remembered that my mom and I had a Windsor chair for sale in our antique booth that was my grandpa's. And even though it's maybe not the exact style I had envisioned in my head, my mom said, well, why don't you just go try it, and that way you kind of know for sure what you're looking for. So I ran up to the booth, I grabbed his chair, I brought it in my dining space, stuck it on the end, and I love this style. So I know for a fact I'm looking for Windsor style chairs. It looks beautiful with my table. I love it. So that's definitely the style I'm going for. That very next day, my husband had to run and get some work done on the car. And right next to where he was is a thrift shop. And I was like, hey, you should just run in there for me and look for a Windsor chair. And he was like, what? Explain to me what you want. It was so sweet of him. But I showed him some pictures. I was like, just take a quick look. You never know. Lo and behold, he sends me a picture of this chair. And he said it was 21 bucks, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool, just grab it. I think I could maybe work with it. So he brought that home. So now I have two Windsor chairs on opposite sides of the table. Now, for $20, I think it was worth it for him to grab this one. The other one was obviously free, just for me to visualize what this table looked like with Windsor chairs. Am I 100% sure and set on these particular chairs? Not necessarily. They might be, what's the word I'm looking for? I might be looking for something a little more primitive. So these have a lot of detail in them, even though they're beautiful chairs. I might be looking for something more primitive. I'm not sure, but I can work with these for now. I think they're beautiful. I love the lines of them. I was even wondering if I should choose black chairs for in here, and I think that the dark finish on these is actually really pretty with the table. So now I think even the finish on these chairs has helped me sort of know what I want. And of course I kept the wicker ones in here for now just because I have them. And I think it's so hard, you guys, being so vulnerable and sharing your home on YouTube, on Instagram, because people just like to pick apart your spaces and tell you what's wrong and tell you what you need to change, and you need to get rid of those, and you need to switch this out, and you need to buy this. And please don't get me wrong, I love your input, I love your comments, but like a lot of times I want to say, I've told you guys this before, I am not just gonna go buy everything I want for my house. Like, it takes time, it's a process, and it's very, very hard sometimes putting yourself out there and sharing the process with my audience, because even though I say, hey guys, this is a work in progress, this is a process for me, I'm constantly shifting, growing, trying to learn more about decor, and still I get these comments that are like, well, you need to do this and you need to do this, and it's hard for me sometimes to just not want to like delete my entire like, why am I doing this? Why am I sharing my home with all of these strangers? It's hard sometimes. And for the most part, people are really, really kind. I just want to put that out there. You guys are the sweetest, most supportive people. I really love my YouTube audience here. You guys are super kind, but it can be hard sometimes. So I love it when people are very sweet in the way they word things. Maybe you could be on the lookout for such and such. Instead of just like telling me what I need to do in my home and how I need to get rid of something because it's ugly. Well, the wicker chairs, that's what I have for now. So they're staying until I can find something that I fall in love with. And right now this setup is working. Now on the other side of the table, I've got a rustic bench. It was also at the local antique shop. The owner of this particular shop is the sweetest person. She's such a kind friend. She lets me try things out from the shop all the time, and I happened to see this bench sitting outside, and I was like, I sent her a text and said, hey, would you mind if I tried this at my dining table? Now, I personally think that it's maybe a little too rustic because my table's pretty rustic. And I don't want any competition happening. I want the eye to go towards the table and not to everything around it. And so I feel like because the bench is so rustic, there's a little bit of competition going on. So I'm still maybe on the lookout for like something more simple, maybe a deacon's bench or something else. Not sure yet. But for now, like I said, the setup is working. It's pretty. I'm happy with it. For the top of the table, I just decided to kind of bring in a little bit of everything that I love. I love breaking up a rustic table with some soft flowers. I also wanted a pop of white because it sort of ties into the whites behind me, also the whites that are happening on the shelf. An old stoneware bowl that I've added a collection of. I don't know why these things I'm so drawn to them. I think they're like vintage meat tenderizers or something, but I love them. I think they're so pretty. They always have the prettiest handles and the prettiest patina, and I've just been collecting them sort of over the years at different thrift shops. Anyways, I threw that on there. Of course, the baskets add some texture, so I just kind of like to pull a little bit of everything to sort of tie the room together and put it on the table. So that's what I did on the center of the table. Another thing that I want to talk about really quick before I wrap this video up is the corner over here by the cutting boards. We decided to just leave it empty for now, not put any furniture there. We're really loving how big and open our dining space is, and we had some leftover shaker pegs from the mudroom project, so my husband added some underneath the cutting boards, and I love the way those look. I think they're so pretty. I hung my new copper pot on one of them and a dish towel, and I really love how those are looking. So, of course, I've already shared all about this hutch behind me. I added some flowers for spring, some leftover napkins that I had, and I'm still sort of playing with this situation too. None of this is like 100%, for sure. I'm always changing things, always playing with things. I think it helps when I create these videos. Sometimes I watch them back, as much as I hate watching myself on camera. Sometimes I watch them back because it helps me, even because I see things through the eyes of the camera lens that I'm like, wow, I don't like that, or oh, I really love that. And so these videos help as well. But I hope you enjoyed coming along with me today as I sort of decorate and pull this space together. It's always fun sharing the process with you guys. This is just a hobby of mine. My most important job in life right now is raising my boys, being a homemaker, taking care of this home, and the fact that I have this privilege to be able to, decorate and make it a space that I love is just, it means so much to me, and it's just awesome. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. It's awesome that I get to share that with you, that my job is to do something that I love, and I love taking you guys along. How much fun is it when you can find people with similar interests and kind of share your hobbies with them? It's the best thing in the world, and so I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you understand that, and I hope you enjoyed kind of decorating with me today. If you're new to my channel, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.